Girl, I think you're royalty, and you deserve nothing less than my loyalty. You hold me down, in return you get more of me. That's how it feel when you're someone's priority, babe. Now what you gonna do with that? I know you ain't used to that. I'll show you better, babe. I'll show you better. I know you're used to letdowns and heartbreaks, lost in silhouettes of your heart.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Grown Folks Business. I love our theme song. It is my son, Alexander Sinclair himself. But the song talks about letdowns and heartbreaks, lost in silhouettes of your heartache, and he's claiming that he can show you better. Listen, ladies, I know that's what you all think, and tonight we're going to get into it at Grown Folks Business. We're going to talk about trust issues, the truth behind this false belief. Goddess Earlene is in the building, and she's on time. She's been handing out Oscars all day. She's tired, but I tell you what, she's in the building, and I'm so excited because I always love what my girl has to say. Earlene, what's the word?
I have no words for y'all today. I have been in rare form, and Sierra been handing out Oscars too.
I've been handing them out to myself though.
Why, girl?
Man, I've had a day, boy. I tell you, I just trying to stay in goddess mode. I've been having to give myself Oscars, and the Oscar for not going hood goes to Goddess Sierra. Like it's like, I was like, I don't know what's going on planetarily. I haven't looked at it today, but folks have really worked my patience.
I am not hood, but the hood accepts me. I have been known to frequent the hood from time to time.
Yes. I mean, like I tell folks, I was raised in the suburbs by way of folks that came from the hood. So it did, my parents had money, but the hood was all up in them. And so I was raised ghetto with money, and that makes it worse because you have the nerve to be ignorant but entitled at the same time. So it's pretty sad. But tonight I want to delve into, and this is something I'm telling you, Earlene and I have been fried in the brain. But one thing we can both attest to as clairvoyants is all you ladies want to talk about is men. I mean, Earlene, I promised myself that I wasn't going to answer any of the questions, but when I do the readings, people, I'm like, sister, don't do it. But boy, here it comes. I want to talk about Tony or whatever. And I mean, I remember when I used to call you crying, so I ain't even going to hate. I ain't even going to hate because I used to be like, Earlene, and she'd be like, listen, I didn't want to hear it. But it wasn't the man. It was me. Because I already knew what was going on. I just didn't trust myself to stand firm in my belief. I wanted, what do we always say as women? I want proof. If the proof is in your gut, in that space where you feel and where you have that knowing that something just ain't right. Keep sweat, why not? And I'm telling you, sometimes when I'm dealing with people, energetically, I'll hear that song play in my head when I start looking them up. Something just ain't right. And I think I lost my girl, but she'll be back shortly. There she is. See?
I don't know what's going on.
something just ain't right. And so when I look up the definition of trust, it's a noun and a verb. It says a firm belief in the reliability, the truth, the ability or strength of someone or something. I think it's terrible that the dictionary says that your trust is in someone or something. And the second aspect of it is a verb, and it says belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of. And that's it. And then the archaic definition is as allowed credit to a customer, which we know has to deal with money, because they used to call that a trust. I keep losing the goddess Earlene, but hopefully she'll be back on. That little hurricane blew in and caused some weather issues, and so people are going through. And so we just keep moving forward until she comes back. But I started thinking today about the relationships that I've had in the past and whether or not trust was really an issue. And I've never really had trust issues until later in life. And I'm not really sure if it's fair, because being clairvoyant, you just kind of know everybody's business before it's happening. So that's probably the reason why I didn't have trust issues. And if you want to call in tonight, the number is 310-928-7733. We'd love to hear your comment or your conversation about who you're not trusting. But here's the thing, and why I think that this is such a topic that needs to be discussed, is because as I'm listening to men and women, and as I'm interviewing people and talking to people and doing my little polls for the show, for men, it seems to be an excuse, not really a real, not really a real space. They'll say things like, I got trust issues, I've been hurt before. But it seems more like the song and dance that you want to say just because you don't want to expose the fact that you're a non-committal and you just like to play around and you really think that there's other options. And for women, it seemed like they really just couldn't see themselves and understand why they were attracting this type of mate. The thing about the law of attraction is it's a law. And so if you put all of your trust into a person and you think that that's where trust lies, you're probably going to get the opposite of that, which is an untrustworthy person. And so there's so many people that make their money telling you how to trust and how to do these things. But what I've learned is that if you don't trust into yourself, the definition told you the act of placing confidence in someone or something else. That's very sad, because it doesn't tell you that it should be the confidence within yourself. Because if you place that confidence within yourself, can you imagine the type of people that you would attract? They tell you all the signs for mistrust. They tell you all the things that you need to look for to not trust a person. It's very sad, but nobody is telling you the signs that you need to have to trust a person. And in my opinion, the first sign is trusting yourself. Earlene, are you back?
Girl, yes. I don't know what's going on.
The computer cannot be trusted.
Yeah, the frequency does not like me.
And so it want to keep hanging up on my girl. The computer can't be trusted. See, that's the thing, people. You got to understand. You got to know who you are. See, she's confident. She knows who she is. It doesn't matter what the computer does. She just comes right back to where she was before it all started happening. I think that's a good example. The situation with the internet can't be trusted. But Earlene can be trusted to go back to what she was doing before that situation even happened, which was being on the show. So before you get cut off again, have you ever had trust issues, Goddess?
Trust issues? No, I'm the person who supposedly does all the cheating, so I don't get a chance to have any trust issues.
And so when you were hung up, I don't know if you could hear it, but I said, as a clairvoyant, it's kind of difficult for me I've never really had trust issues until I stopped trusting myself, because I could already see all your business. I knew when all of my previous partners were with other women, when they had sex, it was kind of unfair. I really never said much about it because it wasn't really fair that they weren't getting away with it. I kind of let them think that I was dumb, until I remember I was seeing a guy and, Spirit showed me where his car was. I went over there and flattened all the tires. Yes, it was me. I flattened all the tires and bust the windows, and he was over, his mistress' house, and I was young, people. I was young and I wasn't in goddess behavior. I told you, hood. And so he called me, oh my God, baby, I don't know what happened. My car got broke into, my windows got, oh, honey, that's terrible. Where were you? Oh, I was at work, and so he was telling lies, and, I was the person who did it, but I just felt like that was my revenge on what he was doing. But I really didn't have a trust issue because I could see what he was doing, where he was doing it, who he was doing it with. But I just kind of felt like, when do you get to the space where honesty is just what comes out of your mouth? And for me, I'm in that space now currently. I've never really been much of a liar, but I haven't really been much of an exposer of the truth either. If you know what that means, which like if I was dating someone and they said, "Where are you?" I would answer with things like "out." And that would be it. Short and sweet. I was out. I just was out with Ricky, or so to speak. And so, Earlene, do you feel like there comes a time when honesty should just be the forefront of a relationship?
I think that honesty should always be the forefront of the relationship. I think as far as like cheating and stuff like that, I mean, if you would just tell me that you want to, just don't,
because can't nobody tell you.
Okay, I'm just being honest now. If you just honestly say that you want to cheat, that way don't let me not get none too. I would be more upset if somebody cheated on me and I didn't get me somebody to cheat. Because, people cheat on you. Then they'll say, but don't cheat on me. Then they get paranoid and think you cheating. And then you don't even get to get you none, but they had some fun with somebody. That's the thing about cheating and get me with people and cheating.
Here's the thing. When it comes to cheating, what is cheating? Because my definition of cheating doesn't seem to be anyone else's. I don't think that sexuality is cheating. I think that sexuality is sexuality. And that sometimes is explored with other people because of certain energies that you need to bring into yourself. I feel that cheating is when you start giving your emotions and your time to another person and your money. That you have cheated on me. If you spend $5 of what's mine on somebody else, listen, you have cheated on me. I'm going to lose it over that. But most women think that cheating is a man having sexual intercourse with another person. And I can't say woman anymore because it's just, they just be out here having sex with people. So, or men think that, cheating is a woman if she's with a man, but not if she's with a girl. And so we have all of these weird restrictions that people put on cheating. So do you think that that's something that should be discussed up front? Or is that just something that you kind of ease into once it happens in the relationship? What do you think about that?
You need to talk about that the first meal.
If I were to talk about what I thought cheating was, I would never get a date because the men would automatically think that I was sleeping with someone else, and that's not the case. I just don't think that cheating is sex.
I really feel like if you tell me, if you are a man and you tell me the first meal, you say, I was homosexual while I was in jail.
Oh, that's
time
different.
For us to stop eating. If you are a man and you tell me on the first date that you like threesomes, then it's time for us to stop eating because I'm not licking nobody's booty. It's not happening. So, that's stuff that need to be discussed. I mean, that's like, you having a meal with somebody. You go, I'd like to get married. Again, I'm probably going to stop eating. Because those are things that just make me uncomfortable. There's no need of us finishing the food. I want my food boxed up, please.
But here's the thing. In a world where we're getting all of our relationships seemingly now on the one place where you can't trust it, which is the internet, how can you, I keep hearing about this POF. I didn't know what it was. It's something called,
I'm sorry, y'all. I just had an outburst. I'm sorry because POF caused some problems. In my life, and I ain't even on there, okay? Now,
I didn't know what it was,
because
but
my homegirl might be listening.
Right, it's something called Plenty of Fish.
Yes, because I didn't even know what it was.
I didn't know what it was. I looked it up, and this POF thing, it seems to be a lot of shady, untrustworthy business. But before I get into that, we got a caller, area code 713-724. You're live with Grown Folks Business.
Hi there, ladies. I'd just like to chime. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, excellent. I'd just like to chime in a little bit. I think the issue of trust is much deeper, I think, than when we get to adult relationships.
Absolutely.
I think the whole issue of trust starts much earlier than that. And I think we have to look at, if we look at Erickson's or Maslow's theory about social emotional development, we look at the time to build trust is in the infancy stage, up until 2 years old. That's where you build your foundation for trust. Right. And if you have challenges building trust with your caretakers, your mother, your father, that can set you up for a lifetime, just that, of trust issues. If you have had a life where your life leading up until the time for male-female relationships has been insecure, unstable, that you couldn't count on people, or if you were neglected, or even if it's a case of maybe you needed to eat and your parents didn't feed you or they weren't home on time. If you had a lot of that, it sets you up for insecurity about relationships. And so you come into your adolescence and adulthood without having a good sense of security and a good sense of trusting people. So then when you get into relationships, you bring that from childhood, but you also have to deal with the remnants of the sexual revolution since what's his name just passed away, the Playboy Mansion guy, Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner.
Right, he was on the cutting edge of the sexual revolution, which gave men permission, more or less, to have sex or to carry on without the benefit of responsibility in relationships and so forth. So as a result of that, we've had probably now maybe about 3 or 4 generations that have grown up with irresponsibility around the issue of sex, where men look at women as commodities to use for sex. And with that kind of thinking that they just want to have sex and then they want to throw a woman away like refuge, a woman cannot be secure in a relationship, cannot be secure if a man says he cares for her, because men will lie. And there's an old adage that says men will lie to have a relationship. And no, men will lie to have sexual intercourse, and women will lie to have have a relationship. I hope I said that right. They'll lie for a nut, and a woman will lie for a relationship. But anyway, and then we have to look at, too, we live in a culture that promotes lying and dishonesty. So the whole fabric of which we're living our relationships is not just between the man and the woman, and they come together and there's no trust. There are a whole lot of contributing factors to the reason there aren't trustworthiness between men and women and so forth and so on. And I think to deal with the issue of trustworthiness and being trusting and having trust, we have to get back to people upholding their word, meaning what they say and following through and having standards of living. And right now, we don't have that.
And what's your name, caller? And where you calling from?
I'm Annelle Williams from Houston.
Oh, thanks, Annelle. I knew it was Houston area code, but I wasn't sure if you were there because I'm in Texas as well. And here's the thing, great point, and I love that because it's opening the dialogue. But here's my only problem with it. Even as I started out with the definition, they make trust a responsibility of someone else. And I think that even though we can all experience certain things, especially in our culture with parenting and things like that, and we can have some trust issues there, taking those things into adulthood, at what point is it a responsibility of that adult to work out their issues before they start seeking these types of relationships? Like I said, for me, it's much different because as a clairvoyant, I can see what you're doing. So I don't really have trust issues. But as I'm talking with a lot of women, I don't hear responsibility for the situations that they're in. I hear it all being pointed to and blamed on men or blamed on mama or blamed on daddy. And all I'm saying is when the definition of trust tells you that it's somebody else's responsibility, when do we say, wait a minute, I need to look at the psychology of this in myself?
Well, I think you make valid points, but I also have to, say that one of the reasons that mistakes are made and women lose trust in these situations is because since I'm a female, I'm taking standpoint women with men, is because women have been lied to so much and men have misrepresented themselves to women, and women have to discover the liar and don't get married like we used to. You have women who are single for a lifetime or single for decades, so they perhaps did more than one man or 3 or 4 or whatever. So they get the experience of having men misrepresent themselves to them, and it breeds mistrust. We women do have a responsibility to get to the bottom of who is this person that's coming into our lives as quickly as possible. But at the same time, the man needs to be trustworthy the same as the woman needs to be trustworthy. And I believe the lack of trustworthiness that women have today is a byproduct or an adaptation or aberration of interacting with men who have not been trustworthy. That's my how do they say it? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
But I think we need to all be a committee of one and make a change and make a difference in our own lives. And men got to stop lying to women. And I'm going to say this.
Well, I mean, you have women lying. You got women in relationships with women going through the same thing. So it's
exactly.
I don't see it getting healthier even when they switch over. It just seems to be. That's why I'm saying, where's the personal responsibility and not looking at another person? Because for me, the moment I find out that you're not trustworthy, I know who you are. I'm not staying 15 years, but I hear women heed this and heed that. Right. And then men going through it with women.
They go through it with women. But you never hear about men going through it. It's just mostly women complaining about men doing it to them, but it is a lot of men out here that suffer from women cheating on them. I know a guy,
and he found out.
I understand it, but I tell you what,
and he found out not any of his 6 children was his, not one of them. Not
right, but I would submit that more women have experienced it than men, and men may be experiencing it now, as I said, because there is a reaction. But I want to say this one last thing before I go about this article that was written about black men or the white men of black people. Mm-hmm. And of course, that is a very controversial article, and it's been dragged through the media and all of that. But I understand that because I see black men, black straight men, as consumers of black women, users of black women, that they see black women as objects to use it as they see fit. And when they decide to walk away or do whatever they want to do, they feel free to do that with no sensitivity or understanding to the carnage they leave behind when they treat people like objects without any sensitivity to feelings or what the long-term implications of serial heartbreakers. But anyway, I'm going to get offline and listen to the rest of the show.
We appreciate you so much for calling in, and I appreciate your point of view on this issue. And thank you so much, Houston, Texas, in the house, Grown Folks Business. And what she's talking about is the article. It says, "Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People" by Damon Young. And, it's an opinion, and it's one that can be looked into, and I think based upon experiences, it can be discussed. I would like to talk with Damon. But here's the thing. Even the labeling of, black men are the white people of black people, straight black men are the white people of black people. What straight black men are you talking about? Where are the statistics? We like to talk about a lot of things as people of color without even having any type of statistics or any type, because this hasn't been my experience with men. I mean, it's been some people's experiences, but it hasn't been my experience with men based upon my experience in childhood, seeing my mother in relationships. I like relationships and I like new ones because my mother did. And so the thing with me was, when it's time to say goodbye, it's time to say goodbye. When it's time to say hello. And that's just what it was for me. I don't get angry because a person has decided that they want to tell me lies. What I think about is, what's wrong with you? And why do you feel that we're not in close enough proximity with each other in feeling that we can't honor each other with the truth? And what I recognize is that there's a lack of maturity there. I see it from a whole different perspective, because I'm not looking for another person to satisfy some type of unkept need in me, because I recognize that I don't need another person in my life to be whole, that I first have to be whole. Earlene, where are you with that?
Well, I mean, I'm with you on that. I don't look for other people to make me happy. I mean, you would not find a perfect person to do everything that you want, to fulfill every need that you have. It's impossible. It is impossible. Okay?
Right.
So, let me bring forth a saying from the Holy Bible. We'll see how we go like this. So
I'm like, which one is it? Which scripture? Because I know it.
So the Bible speaks of the minute that you look at a woman or you lust after a woman, that you've already committed the actual act.
Yeah, that's what
so that's what people live by. So you look at that woman, it's gonna be a fight when you get home because you have already slept with that woman.
But see, for me, it's the opposite. I think if you ain't looking, something wrong with you, because I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. But the difference is you're with me, ha ha ha, and I don't have a big glorious behind, I just got enough for me to sit on. And when I see women with real behinds, not these fake blown up ones, I look and I'm like, wow. I'll even ask them sometimes, does that hurt? Or, girl, is that a heavy load? Or how you doing? And, and I got good friends over their booties just saying, girl, you go, girl, or whatever, and encouraging them in it, because I know as a big booty girl, it comes with certain issues, and as a flat booty girl, it comes with issues because of stereotypes of people. Oh, well, you're Spanish, why you don't have a big butt? Well, because mostly in our culture you get breast or butt. It's an anomaly when you get both. You know what I'm saying? And then you have some, I know Black women who have completely flat down to their bone, and I know them to have them as big as the chair that they're sitting in. But there's all types of conversations that can go on, even for these types of body types and everything, and they can bring about issues within a person. They can say, well, trust issues, but the thing is, you're really starting to agree with the negativity that's being told to you. You're starting to agree with it, because the only time that you can have an issue is when you actually agree with it. I don't think that people can be trusted, so I don't place my trust in them. I place my trust in God. And as long as I place it there, I'm not concerned, because then I can understand that everybody's here having their own experiences and everyone's living their life, and based upon those experiences, they're going to get their results. And so I don't really look to say, I trusted you, how could you? Because I know that as such as I am the same. It says that in the book of Titus, as such as you are the same. And so I recognize that I can meet somebody and do something untrustworthy just like you did. I recognize that. I didn't recognize it at first in my marriage when it happened. In my first marriage, when it happened, my response to him was, oh, I'm going to get you. And, ooh, I got him. I sure did. But what I recognized was that the only person that I hurt was myself. He went on. He's having a good life. We're very, very close, good friends. And, my marriage ended. You should have seen the way that he was furious with me for doing what he did. My belief was I could show you better than I could tell you. And his thing was, but men screw around. You're not supposed to do that. You're my wife. And I was like, really? Oh, well, then you shouldn't have done it. And his whole thing was, but I'm a man. And I recognized he was a man, but he wasn't the man that was for me. And so we parted ways. He actually married his mistress. I'm not mad about it. Good for him. And I'm happy for them. They're still married, and they have 2 beautiful children, and they have a miserable life together. And that's great. And so they do. They have a miserable life together. She doesn't even like boys. She likes girls. And so, but that works for him. He wanted a woman who would only sleep with him, and she only sleeps with him as a man, and he doesn't mind that she sleeps with a woman. Weird to me, but hey, if it ain't broke, I ain't gonna try to fix it. But he's not as happy as Well, he doesn't even say that he is, but you know, that's my friend and I support him and I love him and I was once his wife. But the funny thing is the wife doesn't want him talking to me. And I said to him, I said, she does realize that she slept with my husband. I didn't sleep with hers. I think it's funny that the woman who he slept with in our marriage doesn't want him having a relationship with me. Girl, you ain't got to worry about me sleeping with that man. You know what I'm saying? I've been there and done that. And so I thought that was hilarious. And I asked him, why is that? And he said, well, because she doesn't trust it. And I said, what doesn't she trust? I divorced you and let you marry her. Like, you know, he got her pregnant and I said, what do you want? And he said, I want to wake up to my child. And I said, no problem. And we didn't fight. We didn't argue. I just took care of that. And now it's so funny to me that she doesn't want us having a conversation because she's concerned that what? What are you concerned about? Do you think that I would be so low of a woman that I would become the mistress to the mistress? Girl, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't. But it's funny to me that women will actually do this. They'll sleep with other women's husbands or whatever. And then if they happen to get a hold to that man, they'll be all hollering about they don't trust him. But you started your relationship out in an untrustworthy environment. You shouldn't trust yourself because you were a participant in it. I mean, Earlene, do you understand that rationale? I know you over there laughing, but you know the deal.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, because if he found you out there cheating on his wife, he's going to find another one of you after he marry you and he going to do it again. Right. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just the way.
And here's the thing, you know, I could talk about this because he doesn't listen to my show because he's overseas, but you know, he's always overseas back and forth in the States, and so he doesn't hear my show. And other people don't know who my first husband was, but you know, he has tried to be with me intermittently, and I even asked him, what makes you think that me, a goddess, would go there, sweetie? It doesn't matter how much I loved you. I love me some me. I couldn't even look at myself if I decided to lay down with a man that did it such as you did. You chose your life. Now enjoy it. See, I'm not that desperate for the attention that I would need to go back and lay with a man that I'm done with. I got a thing on the board here earlier that says, if he ain't married, is it ever cheating? And is he obligated to say what he is doing or not doing with anybody else? From Tony. Here's the thing. I don't believe so, Tony. If he's not married, in my opinion, he's single. People be talking about they in a long-term relationship. If you ain't in a marriage, that man is single to me. If you're not in a marriage, that woman is single to me. I mean, I done known people that had sex on their at their engagement parties and stuff, and at their bachelor parties, supposed to be getting married, but they single. So in my opinion, you're single. Earlene, what about you?
If I'm in a relationship with a man and I ask him a question and he don't answer it, I'm slap shit out of him. That's what's gonna happen.
I don't even know you're asking questions because you already know the answers.
It don't matter. If I wanted to ask that, which it's gonna be a rare thing. You know, that's one thing I don't struggle with in a relationship. Nor do I have to deal about cheating. Mm-hmm. You know, let's blame that one on the psychic ability. Right. Because you can look at a person and tell if they actually want you or not, or you can tell if they'll be satisfied with you. You can tell if they'll cheat on you. I don't have issues with cheating. Right. So, but if I ask a question, you answer, we got a problem.
So even if you're not married to the person, you're slapping their face? I lost her again. This is crazy because I really want to know. Here's the thing. I'm with Tony. There she goes. So even if you're not married to him, you're slapping him?
Yeah. But if we are supposed to be in some kind of commitment, because let me tell you something, marriage is not a thing. Okay? Right. It's about the commitment, because you could be married, because you could be married to a person. Marriage is just like slave papers. That is your official slave owner. To me, marriage is not an issue. It's not important. I mean, I would do it for financial reasons, honestly. Okay,
Right.
I'm just speaking honestly.
And we're speaking about the
marry.
civil union people because
Yeah.
the commitment is what matters. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And when I say not married, I don't mean a civil union. I mean if he hasn't committed himself to a woman, to me he's a single man and he.
Oh yeah, if we're not committed.
Right. If we're not committed, in my opinion, you could do what you want to do. And so I've had infidelity in all of my relationships. And I think the reason for that is because I don't really care about that. I don't think that sexuality is cheating. And so I think that's why I've experienced men that have found pleasure in other women, because I don't view sex as cheating. Like I said, spend $1 on her and I might beat you to death. Because I view cheating as finances and emotions. And so if I'm with a guy and he's just having casual sex with some lady, as long as we've discussed the parameters of that, meaning protection or whatever, it doesn't really bother me, because I don't view who I am as a woman into what's between my legs. Sorry. I know that some ladies think that if he's cheating, is something wrong with her. That just isn't true, ladies. A man that's having sex with a woman is normally for 3 reasons. The first one is because he can. The second one is because he wants to. And the third reason is because he needed something from that woman. And so it's normally 1 and 2. It's very seldom that a man is woke enough to recognize the energy that he needs from a certain type of woman and has the wisdom to go and get it. And so, with that being said, I think what we need to do is open the dialogue for the conversation of, like Earlene said, at dinner. What is this about? But then when you try to do that, the first thing they say is, "Oh my God, stalker." The thing is, I want to weed through the BS. I just want to weed through the BS, and I'll use my clairvoyance for that. Like, I'm just not going to go out on a date with you. I get asked out on dates a lot, and guys, the reasons why I don't go is because I see you, and I'm not interested in the BS. I'm not partial to liars, because I feel that at a certain age, what are you lying for? You're not 20. Why are you 46 and lying? It just is really stupid. And
because lies do not age.
That's true. That is true. So
a new lie is born every second.
And even Adolf Hitler said, all you gotta do is tell a lie enough and it becomes the truth. And so I have met men that actually believed what they were saying. They believed it and even offered to take polygraphs.
Well, I want to bring up a subject. I mean, if you're on my Facebook page, and I put some kind of odd stuff up there. So one thing I want to talk about as far as like trust is when you meet these people on the internet, okay? How can you trust a man or a woman who greets you with a picture of their private part? Okay, you look at this person and they can be fine as all get out, but they send you a picture of their private. How can you trust them? How can you trust that? Everybody has seen it. Yeah. Okay? It's no secret there. So how many people have they sent that photo to? You can't put your trust in the person like that. You can't even expect anything remotely. I mean, they pretty honest. I mean, if they're willing to bear it all like that, but you cannot trust a person that greets you with that.
And here's the thing: if you send me a picture of your lingam, I'm sending it to other people. That's what I'm doing with your lingam, because I have a cousin that's transgendered, and she used to meet a lot of people on the internet. So whenever a man sent me a pic of his lingam, I sent it right to her, and she would always say, "Been with him" or "Been with him." So I mean, that was I was like, wow. And I would say, well, how do you know? And she would describe like I know that picture of the house. And sometimes she would even have the picture saved and show it to me. And sure enough, it would be the same pic. So not only are they sending pictures to women, some of them sending them to men, some of them on, what is it, Earlene, back page, back door.
No. It's not back page anymore. It's that POF.
The Plenty of Fish. Yeah, I didn't know what POF was, and also blackpeoplemeet.com and Tinder. And now when I first was starting my business, I went on Tinder and I got 843 swipes of yes, whatever that. I don't know if it's to the left or the right, but I think it's to the left if you like it. I had like 843 likes. And out of those 843, only one man asked me out on a date. 843 men were available to me. 842 were apparently available sexually.
Oh, wow.
And only one asked me on a date. And when I went and see, I trusted. He sent me his picture, everything. We talked on the phone for a couple of months. And when I got to the restaurant, I was looking all around. And he had just told me where he was. He said, I'm by the bar. I was looking everywhere. I didn't see him. Why? Because I was looking for the picture. He failed to say that he had gained another 400 pounds since the picture. But guess what? I didn't go crazy. I walked over there looking stunning and amazing to that nearly 480-pound man. He was raising his hand, but his arm was so short from being obese, I couldn't see it. So he called me on my phone and he said, Sierra, I'm waving my hand right in front of you. And I was like, the devil is a lie. But I conducted myself as a goddess. I did not lose faculties. I walked over there. And we had a great time. But this is where I got upset. We were at the Cheesecake Factory and he went to the Skinnylicious menu. And then I just knew he was a liar, because you are morbidly obese and you're going to sit here and tell me.
Just morbidly?
Morbidly obese. And he said to me, he looked at the woman, and first of all, I don't think that men should say Skinnylicious. I was turned off. I was really turned off. He said, I'd like the Skinnylicious, and I was like, lies and garbage. Then he looked at me and he said, I don't eat meat. And I was like, you clearly eat people. Stop lying. And so at that moment, it wasn't that he was a big man. I had no problem with the cannibal. I had no problem with it because I'm not unattracted to big men. I'm attracted to energy. So it don't matter. Heavy D was a sexy brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm not unattracted to big men. I like men, so I can like any type of man. I even looked at a little person. You can't call them midgets no more, but when I was growing up, he was a midget. He was nice looking. This brother was fine. I even think
you just gonna tuck him off in there, huh?
Girl, but I just couldn't figure out how I was supposed to date him. But I was really attracted to his energy because he wasn't a little man. He was a man, and he talked to me, even though we were young, he talked to me like a man, and he had confidence, and I thought that was attractive. But I just couldn't figure out how I was going to look publicly, and because I was egotistical back then and stuck on myself, I kept saying, how am I going to walk around with a dwarf? But, you know, he was a good friend for the time that I had him. But anyway, back to this guy. I had a great time on the dinner. However, when I got ready to leave, I said to him, I really enjoyed myself. But here's my problem and why I won't have a second date with you. I don't know why you sent me a picture of you from years ago. And he said, that picture's not old. It's only 2 years old. And I thought to myself, well, what have you eaten in 2 years? My God. And then I said to him, I said, listen, you know that you don't look like that. And we've come out here and you clearly enjoy to eat and you ordered a Skinnylicious salad. I don't know where you think I'm at on the scale of dumb, but I ain't that dumb. And so what I have realized is that you don't know how to be yourself. And since I'm just learning how to be myself, I don't want to pick up this type of energy. And see, I was just honest, and we're actually still good friends. And so you don't need to be romantically involved with everyone. You should feel people out. You should watch people's energy. You should sit down. You should have that meal. I'm not going to end the meal. Earlene is. Listen, if Earlene got there, she probably wouldn't have sat down.
No.
Would you have sat down, Earlene?
I would not have sat down.
I was just like, what's a goddess to do? And I sat down.
No, I mean, let me tell you something. Okay, I have a very hard time dealing with people anyway. And I mean, just from the get-go, we probably would not have even made it that far, because let me tell you something. I don't care what kind of energy you got. Okay? The first time I sense a lie, we are done. We ain't gonna make it to the skinny menu, the big menu, with the fat menu. We not going no menu.
But here's the thing. I saw him, and I knew that he was a bigger guy. I didn't realize he was that much bigger, because I told you I still see silhouettes of people. I saw he was a big guy, and I wasn't concerned, but he was ginormous. And my problem was that he had a problem with being ginormous. I wouldn't have had a problem. I would have still went out with him and had a good time, because I believe in friendship. I wasn't romantically attracted to him at all, but I was appreciative of the fact that out of 843 people, he asked me out on a date. I didn't know that Tinder was a hookup site. They told me it was a dating site. I was just starting my Daikini business, and I wanted clients. And so I thought, this is where all the men are. And one guy actually said to me, "Are you seriously promoting your business on here?" And I was like, well, yeah, because all of y'all are on here looking for relationships, and that's what I do, so I can help you. But they were really offended, so I'm not certain if I didn't get any dates because of the business or because they just wanted sex, and it was clear that I didn't want that. I don't really know the ins and outs of this online thing. I was married all my life, so I don't know the ins and outs of Plenty of Fish. Now, I'm going to have to go on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on it while we're here.
Let me know how it is, because let me tell you, Plenty of Fish ruined my weekend. A friend of mine, just newly divorced, she went on Plenty of Fish. She just so happened to meet a person that I am, number one, friends with. Two, they are a relative of mine through marriage. So are they and their girlfriend. Well, they Plenty of Fished it, and it ruined my weekend. I'm talking about the girlfriend of the Plenty of Fisher that met my friend arguing. Hey, it was a mess. Plenty of Fish. Hey, throw that fish. I was like, throw that fish back. It ruined my weekend.
But see, here's the thing. If your man put his profile up there, why are you arguing with the woman who he fished? I mean, he clearly...
she didn't argue with, like, she could not get a hold to the woman that she fished. It wasn't my bad. She was riding through Georgia from Chattanooga looking for the woman that got caught on Plenty of Fish and got reeled in by her boyfriend. Where did I come in? Because I know everybody.
Right.
Plenty of Fish is my enemy now. I didn't even know nothing about it. People like POF. I don't know nothing about it, because I'm just not into the whole texting and talking and, interacting like that. That's not my thing. I have to see you in person to make sure that you're not fat before I get there.
Right. I mean, I'm on Plenty of Fish now. I'm not signed in, but I see a couple of profiles of women, and one says, if you want to know about me, take me out. I don't Netflix and chill unless we in a relationship. I look mean, but I am not. I have life goals I trying to reach. Grammar school would be a good place. The next one is a picture of a lady's titties, not her face. So that makes me think she's got a husband or a boyfriend. It's just her titties. And she said, my goal is to have fun with everything I do.
God.
And it's her titties. Another woman looked like she's 2 seconds out of the pulpit. And she said, I enjoy spending time with my family and friends, sightseeing, country drives, walks in the park, reading, writing, traveling, listening to gospel music and sermons. Ain't nobody at the church, but okay. And so, I have 2 kids, a job, my own car, and an apartment. Sounds like you don't want a man. When I'm not working, I spend my downtime reading, watching Netflix. That sounds like she's cool with the Netflix and chill. Going to the gym. She's not telling the truth because the picture's just her face and it's big. She might go to the gym, but it's only to look for a man. I try to take trips when I can. I'm looking for it, and that's all it shows you. But it's weird because it seems like women, she says, I'm looking for a relationship. And so I don't know what they think this is about, but it doesn't look like when I'm seeing breasts and chests and all this stuff that people are on. One woman is laying in the bed with her boobs out and tats everywhere, and she says that she's a nurse, but she's not representing that. She also says that she's a Christian, but she's got her boobs out and all her tattoos, and that's the first picture that's up. Then she's got, pictures up. She says she's a nurse, but she doesn't want any married men or men in relationships. But she's in her bra with her boobs out. So even for our caller, when she said that women are subjected to this, that, and the other. Now this one here says it's a girl, but I know it's a boy. This is not a female. Stop it. Sir. And so, plenty of fish, it seemed like catfish. But yeah, people will say that, women are subject to lying men and all that stuff. Women are putting themselves out there for this type of response from men. You got your whole breast out. The whole world is seeing your body, baby. This is what I mean early when I say you don't trust yourself. See, if you trusted yourself, in my opinion, you have a shirt on. If you trusted yourself, in my opinion, you would know your worth. And you wouldn't be parading around the internet for millions of people to take your picture, put it up on Facebook, put it up on, I don't know, they still got MySpace, any of these types of things. I don't know. We got a caller, George D. Well, a typer. He says, hi, ladies. Okay. I met a lady that liked to talk to me every day, wants to hook up, and then tell me that she has a boyfriend whenever she thinks I want to get close to her. What the hell is going on? I'm at the point where I'm going to treat her like a booty call and keep it moving.
Don't touch her. Don't touch her. Stop talking to her.
Yeah, that's the thing. You said treat her like a booty call. George D., is she having sex with you already? Cause I pick up sexual energy from the two of you all. So, what's the deal with that? But if a woman is telling you that she has a boyfriend, but she's having sex with you and I don't understand it. Earlene, I'm gonna let you take that because I'm so confused right now on Plenty of Fish, what I'm seeing and how these women want relationships, but they got their whole breast out. I'm confused. It just looks so weird to me to present yourself in this manner. See, I ask her and it hangs up on her, people, but I'm really confused because there she is. Earlene, take it. Mm-hmm. Tell, you said don't touch her. Take it. Plenty of Fish got me messed up.
I don't think that you should touch the woman. I mean, if she's telling you that she got a boyfriend every time you go to, get close to her, get intimate with her, I mean, that's an issue. But one thing I say,
I think when he's saying close to her, he means like close in feelings. I think the intimacy's already there.
No, he said hook up. He said wants to hook up. That means that they hadn't done it yet.
She said she talks to me every day wants to hook up. But then she tells me a boyfriend when I try to get close to her, but then he said I'm going to treat her like a booty call. So, it seemed to me like he's saying feelings.
In my experience, I mean, when you get episodes like that, especially when you communicate with people off the web, I'm telling you, these days it might be a dude.
True that.
I ain't gonna do no reading on nothing like that. But I will tell you, first thing pop in my mind is that you should not mess with her.
All right. Let her alone. So there you have it. That's the same thing I get, George D. Leave that chick alone or that gentleman, lady or gentleman alone. I'm seeing a lot of suspect, females here. I don't get this. Are we living in a world now where we can't just meet people? I seen people out on dates texting other people. Are we just living in a world where we can't just meet people anymore? This is really weird to me.
I like intimacy. I like face-to-face conversation. I want to see you smile. A picture can fool you. It can fool you.
It can.
And I just like, hey, I want you to bump into me somewhere so I could fall in love with you, you know, while you spill orange juice on the floor or something in the grocery store. I don't want to talk to you on the internet. You know, I'm corny like that.
Oh,
you know,
that's sweet.
Yeah, I'm corny like that. If I see a man,
I don't think that's corny. That's old school. That's old school.
Yeah, I already know that I love you when I see you. I already know if I'm gonna marry you or not, or whatever, or sleep with you when I see you.
Right.
But, I can't take anything on the internet serious. I'm sorry about it. I can't do it.
Yeah, and this is the thing. We're still on topic. I don't want people to think we're off topic, because this is the thing. Trust. How can you have trust when you're putting yourself in situations that don't call for trust to be had? I mean, I just don't. I'm looking at, I can't see any men for some reason. The first thing that pops up is women. And I mean, boobs, breasts, butts, twerks, whatever. Listen, why are you claiming you want a relationship and this is how you're presenting yourself? I think everybody just needs to chill out, pull yourself in, reel yourself in, figure out who you want to be, what you want to do, figure out if you yourself are trustworthy, and then try to get with somebody else. This energy that made me sick tonight, I done got physically ill behind it, because I really like these topics that that Spirit gives me or gives us, and then I see the counterproductive behavior, and it makes me sick to my stomach, because I don't understand what everyone's talking about. All of this whining on Facebook about wanting a man, needing a man, blah, blah, blah. But you're out here with your yoni on the internet.
Want the good, and then you don't want the people that you can trust.
Yep. Oh, he work at Walmart. Oh, at least he work. That booger sitting on the internet catfishing all day don't got no job. You his job. You his job. And we just keep it real on Grown Folks Business. We're going to be talking about this again next week, because I don't want to get into the psychology, really. I want to talk about the issues, because the psychology of it has you blaming other people. It's time out for blaming other people. We got to start taking some personal responsibility.
Yes.
You are not trustworthy, and it's why you don't have a trustworthy partner, because you don't trust yourself. They called you a slut. You think you a slut. You on the internet acting like a slut. Then you tell me I can't find a good man. Listen, figure out what you want to answer to, and then that's the man that'll call you. If you're answering to slut, then a gigolo's going to pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be Gomer. Everybody can't get that prophet to come pick them up off the whore block. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to recognize what it is we want to represent. What are you representing? It's not represent people. It's representing. What are you representing? If you're representing a prostitute, then you can't get mad when a man doesn't want to introduce you to his mama. I can't really talk about men because I'm not a man, I'm a woman. But I know that there's a young lady that came to meet me one time, and I just looked like, what in the world? And I said, did you know that you were meeting his mother? Yeah. And I just looked at my son and I said, that ain't gonna work. She didn't even have enough sense to cover her butt to meet your mama. So that lets me know what kind of woman that you have, one with low self-worth. And so, here at Grown Folks Business, we like to get to the bottom of the truth. We're going to be talking about this again next week, but this is why I say that trust issues are simply just your issues. and that's what I want to leave you with. You can catch me on SierraTorres.com. My new website will be launching this week. I'll let y'all know that next week. But Earlene, let them know how to get in touch with you.
You can reach me at 423-320-2215.
And that's Beauty of Raw Spiritual, where she's the best at what she does in Chattanooga and in the land, I'm telling you. And I thank God we don't compete with one another, because this is my girl, but she bad. When I tell people that she see the drawers you're wearing, she see the drawers you're wearing. Plentyoffish.com. Keep your drawers off the internet. This is Grown Folks Business. We love you, and we'll catch you next week. Same time, same channel.
So you better be late. I know you used to let downs and heartbreaks, the lost in silhouettes of your heartaches. I can show you better, baby. I can show you better, baby. I can look look in your soul and see it. You've been let down, been so mistreated. Too many fuck boys that's so conceited, and you could use a break.